that is everything. Except for I've got to click over to that. That does help a lot, doesn't it? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. I couldn't even get the channel name right then. I'm Laz. Apparently I can't talk tonight, but I'm going to try and do some more work on the magical world of Sparkles and Oak. Hopefully that'll be my phone telling me I can go drawing portrait mode. Yay! It's giving me both notifications this time. That's good of it. Which means I can actually join straight away from the phone, just in case. Evelyn, hello, and you're here. You're here at the beginning. Awesome. And also, Silvers, I believe you have a stream at 1 AM if you're watching from the UK. 7 PM Central if you're watching in the US. That should be everything, because for some reason it doesn't always come up straight away in the little green box for me. I don't know how long it takes for all of you, but it's not popped up for me yet. And my phone's in the wrong place. Or should I say, the 1, 2, 3 blocks are in the wrong place, because the paintbrushes aren't holding the phone up. So thank you everyone for coming in to see me, and everyone here so far. So tonight we're working on the top layer here, which is why the camera's in a weird position at the moment. So we're working on this layer, but it's difficult to actually get into shot. Now, what I was going to do with that layer is I was going to put lollipop sticks all around here and then try and put a straw roof on it. But then I realised that means I've got to cut into this big block section and try and make it so it can do the slanty straw roof thing. Fargrim, good evening. Good evening. Yes, all is well for me as far as so far tonight. We've yet to see. We've yet to see. Good evening, Ali. Good evening. Thank you for coming in. I hope you're all well and not too tired from work. So my original plan, as I said, was going to be lollipop sticks around here and then a sloping roof. I don't think that's going to work. So I've changed my mind. Now, old viewers will recognise this tube because it has something in it, and it's an absolute chore is what that's got in it. But before we get to that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip off cork to match off and make a rough platform that comes out. Only small though, so it covers this gap section, and then an even thinner one to glue on top of it, just so it's got a step. And then from there, this is where the chore comes in. I have lots and lots and lots and lots of tiny bricks. So I'm going to make ruins, and I'm going to brick it all up with some kind of door frame-ish where the step is. No, I'm not psychotic. Yes, I do have a slight tendency to do things the hard way for myself. But that aside, I think it's going to work. So first of all, I need to glue down the 2 floor pieces, which means I need to rip one off. That's about the right size-ish. And we'll be able to be glued down. Now I don't want it too big, because obviously the models still have to go on that as well. And nobody's actually stood on that platform. So it needs to not protrude too far into where the models are going to be. So something like that should be fine. And then a smaller variant of it to go in over the top. And then that's going to be like kind of steps up to where the door's going to be. If I glue them on right. Like that. And then I'm going to essentially brick up around there. And then all around here and all around here and all around here. It's going to take a lot of bricks. Not as many as the houses did, but it's still going to take a lot of bricks. But before I put any bricks on, I forgot to mute my phone. Silly me. There we go. we have a muted phone. So we have access to chats and we have a muted phone. Good. Well, I need glue, so glue. I know it's gonna have to be PVA glue because anything else really is gonna melt the foam underneath, which isn't good. Which means we're using PVA glue all night tonight for the foam blocks and for the caulking, which has a plus point of it doesn't set immediately, so you've got a chance to move it a little bit if you need to and spread it and whatnot. But it does also mean that it moves and slides and can be a pain in the absolute rear end if it's not doing what you want it to do. And try and make sure we get enough glue on everything that we need to start with, especially these steps. How is everybody else? Fargram asked how I was, and I'm assuming they were asking how everybody else was as well. And I've just realised this is getting really close to being finished now. This is possibly like 6 or 7 weeks, and I might have it done and completed, which is both wonderful and scary at the same time. That came from there. There we go. Right. Now for bricks. Oh, why did I choose bricks? I know what bricks are like. Bricks are mind-numbing and monotonous and take long ages. And how am I going to hold them up at the sides? Oh, I remember how I was going to hold it up at the sides. With a very, very, very little bit of filler if it is still usable. If the all-purpose filler is still usable, I was going to fill it in the sides a little bit with that. And that would hopefully hold it all up. The monkey 720s. You're spreading kindness. Have a great day, and yourself have a great day. Mine's not got long left. A couple of hours, and then I go into tomorrow. So I'm hoping the rest of today goes pretty well. And how I was going to help the bricks on the sides was with this stuff. And that would hopefully give them something that they can rest on as I'm gluing them onto the side of the actual block. Because that is a big block, let's face it. It's a big, whopping, great big block. So having something for the bricks to rest on so they're not sliding down while I'm gluing it is a good idea. Or at least I think it is anyway. If anyone thinks you're a raving lunatic, lass, you don't know what you're talking about, and please say so. I won't disagree with you that I'm a raving lunatic, but I do sometimes have an idea of what I'm talking about. Sometimes. Most of the time I'm just winging it. Even if I've done it before, I've probably forgotten. So I'm still winging it. Right. So that's the basis of what I intend to start building the bricks up on. Oh, this is going to be fun. If nobody's seen bricklaying before, or tiny bricklaying before, it's very similar to other bricklaying, except we're using PVA glue instead of mortar. And yes, you are laying them all one by bleeding one. And sometimes you have to do planning, and sometimes you have to do cutting, and sometimes things don't match up the way you want to. So you have to do a bit of manoeuvring around. But let's get started, shall we? So we're going to roughly plan out where the door's going to be. So I'm just going to pop a few bricks down there, just to get me going. It's always nice to have a few close by just to start and make it easier. And then, because there's glue still coming out of the top for some reason, I'm just going to dab them in and stack them up to make the door frame. Now this will still have to be textured and painted afterwards, but it's going to have to dry before I can do that. So that's not too bad. So that'll probably be next week. As I said, it is the same as putting bricks out. You're putting them in one by one. Luckily these aren't structurally integral for the actual build, otherwise it will be a lot more planning and it'll be a lot more difficult. But it is still, yeah, I'm putting little blocks on a big block. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it and make it fancy. Ooh, that's a nice big block though, so I might save that for something like a keystone in the centre or something like that. Because they're not all perfect, they have been hand cut. Not even on one of them wire cutter things. These was me with a ruler and a craft knife. So they're all just a little bit odd sized. There's none that are quite... there's no identical ones. Or if there is, it's really, really weird. Hey up, Buzzard. You alright, mate? How's you doing? Now, this is the problem with the bricks. They end up everywhere. So, for the next 3 weeks, I'm still going to be cleaning up bricks. Even if I use every single one of them that I get out tonight, I will still be cleaning up bricks for the next 3 weeks. These get everywhere. There's probably some already escaped from the tube to go off on a little meander and walk somewhere. The static doesn't help. The static really doesn't help. Right, so we've gone 4 bricks high so far, and the other 2 doors down here are actually about 5 bricks high. So we're going to have to at least go another brick high before we can start coming across. And this is just to get the door frame in. Did want that big block, which wherever I put it, I'm sure I put it somewhere to one side, but I can't remember now. Can't find it, it's fallen off into the rubble. Oh well. Now we start laying bricks across the top. Now this is the hard bit, is trying to keep all these level. Because there's nothing actually holding one apart from the glue, and any slight touch will knock them out of kilter and just not where you want them to be. You need to be careful. See, this is where a pair of tweezers would come in very handy if I had a pair for modelling. I don't, and Complexus tried to order me the toolkit off my wish list, but apparently they'd sold out, so he was unable to, which is why he sent me the brushes instead. Again, thank you, Complexus. A nice new set of brushes for the start of the year is awesome. It's almost like a nice clean slate-ish to start with. Is that going to fit in there? I think it will. Right, let's just put that down for a second because I want to have to try and budge that in. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, it just has to look like it might stand. And there we go. We have, I've got to remember that this is for verse and stuff. So we have one door frame so far. And yeah, remember which way around this goes, lads. And I know I'm trying to give you the best possible angle, as well as make it possible for me to still work. It's a precarious little one, is that? So now it's fill out the rest with bricks. As I said, this is a mind-numbing task. Anyone who's done any kind of factory work will sit there and go, no, I've done that type of stuff before. That's soul crushing. Laz, are you okay? And yes, I'm alright. I've done factory work. I've had my soul crushed by the conveyor belts. I am now able to sit here and do these. For good or for ill. I now have that capacity. I'm starting off with the bottom layer. I'm going to try and fill that out as much as possible. And then build up from it. Because it's not going to be completely bloody level. Because of these steps. So it's going to be difficult to do some of it. Some of it's going to have to be overhanged one way, some of it's going to have to be overhanged the other. Well, if you've ever thought about putting a wall up, you'll have at least a rough idea of what I'm talking about. If you've ever actually built a wall, then you should 100% have an idea what I'm talking about. I'm not saying I've ever built a wall, but I've at least thought about it. And I think there is the potential that I could actually do it. If I really tried. And concentrated and, put my effort into it, so to speak. Maximum effort, as Deadpool would, well, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool would say. As long as I went that route, I should be able to do it. A mess. I am making a mess, but it's going to look good by the end, brothers. It is. As I said, I've never actually been called upon to build a wall, so I at least think I've got half a chance to do it. But then again, I think I've got half a chance to do everything, so I'm slightly arrogant like that. Sorry about the accent. But they do pop out of my head every now and again, and they're weird. I don't know where they come from. Well, I do know the areas that some of them are from, but I don't know why they pop in my bloody head. Go bother somebody else. This is definitely going to need Mod Podging afterwards. 100%. It is going to need Mod Podging afterwards. Hello, creature. Hello. Yes, well, kind of. It's a display stand diorama for D&D characters. And I'm going to make a load of D&D characters. Well, I've already painted most of them. I've only got 3 left. But I've got to do the stat sheets for them all yet. I think I've got a few. But this is going to be the display stand from them. And this is the highest level. There's only about 6 characters stood up here on this section. But this character stood on this section and down here and over here. Well, over here and all over the place essentially. I'm just working on the top layer now though. And it's going to take a while because bricks are awful and awkward. Right, I've got to find a nice thick one to be able to go alongside. Do I cut that one off? Do I just take that one off and put a better one on? I think I do. think that was supposed to be the Keystone one that I was going to use earlier. I'm going to take that one off and put a better size one on to go around that corner.
Change it to all messages. There's complexes in there.
Complex, how are you doing? Hello mate, how are you doing, man? Right, I know how I sort this out now, because now it's apparently caught up. If I do that, it does make that a bit bigger, so I can actually see that one now, which is the one that can always see complex on. How are you doing, mate? Funny enough, I was just talking about you, and you popped up. Saying I can do with a pair of tweezers for doing this. Sadly, they were out of bloody stock, weren't they? The buggers. The buggers. Other inspiration. This was in fact entirely inspired by my partner seeing some models that she liked and saying yes, I could buy them to paint. So I then needed a reason to do this. So I created the magical world, and the model she chose out of it just happened to be a pair of twins. So I took her screen name and made them twins into two characters using her screen name, which is why it is Sparkles and Oak. The rest of the characters have been named by her, but through suggestions from chat and myself and Discord and various other places. So all the characters apart from the two main characters that have been named by everybody else. I've not really had much say in it. I've had a little, but not as much as I should have. So that was the inspiration for building it all, and then I decided, well, I could potentially run mini one-shots on Discord using said characters. People let me know which ones they have. If I can make the character sheets available, then people can use them. And then hopefully, yeah, this is going to turn into at least one or two D&D games, if not more, through Discord and any others that pop up. And thank you for giving me the time to do that, because that let me hydrate a little bit more. Even though it's only just started, it does make a difference. Make sure you've had a drink. And I don't mean alcohol. Don't get drunk on stream. I've done that before as well, and that's not a good idea. Not one of my own streams, thank goodness. And the stream is no longer available for viewing as well, which is even better. I mean, it's still technically on YouTube, it's just a private video now. No worries, Ali. Thank you for popping in, and you have some good rest. I'll speak to you again at some point, whether it be on the stream or through message. Well, have a good night. Thank you for coming in. Especially when you're so tired. I keep meaning to ask, have you actually got your routine sorted now with the new job? But I always forget, which isn't good. So that actually wants to be coming on there, and then I want a small one to go up onto there, so I can get an overlap. Plastic glue is quite fun. Plastic glue is quite fun. Especially when you have to clear the nozzle. And then it's really fun. And I should not be saying things like that, because I didn't realise that occasionally children pop up in my streams. So I've now got to be extra careful of what I say. Jeez. a lot more careful. It's because I can't have it zoomed in like I've managed to find out I can do with normal streams when I'm just painting a model. I can have it down here and it's out of the way. Well, not out of the way, but it's in a better viewing position for you as a viewer, and it's not blocking my sight as the painter, which is of course very important. See, I've just seen the wobble then. I've just seen the wobble happen. And that's frustrating. That is frustrating. Next layer. Now I want some variance in depth on some of the bricks, and again I don't want them perfect because these are going to be old ruins. I'm never good with acronyms, Complex. I'm never good with acronyms. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. But more often than not, I don't. I don't know what GNY. Good night, YouTube. I don't know. Good with acronyms, so I don't know why I bother. Just say the things you really mean, and then everyone knows no other. Don't ask why I started singing some nonsense song, but I did. Part of me wants a little one, but I know I'm going to have to use the little ones more sparingly for round the doors. I wish I could just paint the side of them with PVA glue and then just throw the bricks at it and it'll work. I really do. But it doesn't work like that, does it? It doesn't. Why is it not letting me do the things I want to do? I think I may have just figured out, Complex, how I get to see you on the chat. I'm going to have to change it again. Aha! I just figured it out. I'm not a mugging genius because it was so simple I should have figured it out months ago. But I figured it out now. So I can actually see you when you type on the phone, which is much more reliable than trying to get it on there, because I still struggle to see that a little bit. Not gonna lie. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy being green. Stacking bricks. You would have thought I'd learnt after doing the two houses my lesson on this, wouldn't you? Apparently not. I'm still just as cruel to myself as I was back then. Although now I have a reason. Now I know why I make it ridiculously, stupidly hard on myself. It's because I'm stupid. And I got an official certificate to tell me so. Oh, I should be worried. Sparkles has the laptop out. Run! She's got moderator privileges in both of them now. Leg it! Sorry. I mean, she might not even be watching on either phone or PC, but... what am I using for bricks? I'm using underfloor insulation that I chopped up into tiny little bricks. If you live in the UK, you may have heard of a shop called B&Q. In there they sold what was essentially big huge sheets of underfloor sheeting that's this colour, like bluey green, and I think it was like 14 quid for 5 or 6 huge bloody sheets, and essentially it's XPS foam but only 5mm thick. So I bought a pack of that and it has lasted me years so far, and I just chopped it up into little bricks to line a couple of TT Combat houses to make ruined buildings for Warhammer. But I'd cut up that many that I've still got absolutely shed loads left. So I'm now using them on other projects where necessary, or where I think I can do it, or at least gives me foam bricks to use on other projects. Like this one when I changed my mind completely about what I'm doing with the top floor. Because this was supposed to be lollipop sticks and straw. So much for that idea, eh? I mean, if you've got a Proxxon thingy cutter, or hot wire cutter, making these bricks out of that foam sheeting will be so easy because you're just sliding along. You do have to chop the weird little knobbly edge bits off though, because it is meant to be an interlocking thing to be underfloor heating or underfloor insulation, so it is supposed to be like interconnected. So you do have to do a bit of chopping with a few odd bits, but it's not that bad, and it does the job. It does do the job, and it's that easy that if you should need to put in an odd brick like I have to put in here, oh, you got homework due, an essay due tomorrow in the morning, Evelyn? Yeah, that might be a good idea to get that done. I don't want your parents leaving notifications and messages. Why have they not been doing the homework? Because you've been waffling on about stupid green things I want to fight. It's not my fault, honest. Please get your homework. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm firmly in the do your homework. But then again, I'm also a parent as well, so I'm slightly biased. However, if you wish to listen to me while you're doing your homework, because you think it will be mildly entertaining, or at least might make it easier, feel free. I won't stop you from doing that. I can't stop you from doing that. It's YouTube. You get to click on the videos. See? You've just done the same. You have great minds. But yeah, it is YouTube. I can't stop you doing anything. I can't make you do anything. If you're here, thank you very much. If you, I still don't. Yeah, as it says on the channel, this is all therapy, and that's all this. That's what this is. All of it, every last bit. And this is probably the weirdest therapy you'll find on the planet. And it's not. And by therapy, I mean it's therapy for me. My therapist even told me to do it. Well, not necessarily I'll start a YouTube channel, but yeah, told me to get back into the hobby, and I was struggling, so the camera helped. And ta-da! I've now got a YouTube channel. Completely accidentally. Well, not accidentally, obviously. I chose the channel name and I did do things, but the fact that people come and sit with me while I'm doing this and do their own thing, whether it be an English essay, building a unit of Terminators, I'm assuming that Complex is still painting away with his Space Wolves. Creature, what are you building anything at the moment? Just out of curiosity, because you seem relatively knowledgeable, at least some aspects of the hobby. You recognise it as terrain as opposed to just asking what it was. And you're asking questions about regarding what I'm using, etc., etc. So I'm assuming you have something to do with either a Dungeons and Dragons hobby or... Oh, you're building a Sentinel. Awesome. I've got one of them coming in a few weeks. I've already got one. I'm assuming you mean... wait a minute. Do you mean an X-Man Sentinel for Marvel Crisis Protocol? Or do you mean an Imperial Guard Sentinel for Warhammer 40,000? God, I'm a geek, aren't I? But... question's still valid. Which type of Sentinel is it, and for which game system? Because there is 2 different game systems that both use a Sentinel. And the only reason I know it's not HeroClix is because you said you're building it, and HeroClix already come built. And it's also a dead game. But I believe Crisis Protocol, whatever the current Marvel miniature game is, where you build teams of superheroes or supervillains or a mix of both. It's alright, it's just me being me, Creature, don't worry. I'm the type of person who asks that silly question. It's like, why did you even ask that? 99% of the chance it's going to be an Imperial Guard Sentinel. Look at your channel, lads. You're not stupid. Nobody even does Marvel. Nobody's even mentioned the Marvel game ever. So I could have took a while, but yeah, the part of my head that it had to ask that question. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've got one coming, and I've got one built, so I'm going to have a new one and an old style one. I'm not looking forward to building the other one because I didn't have to build the old style one. Somebody else built that and then given me the entire bloody army. That is excellent. More people do that, I'll be happy. But in the case of the new one that's coming with Combat Patrol, yeah, I'm going to have to do that one myself, which I'm not so happy about. Because walkers is usually a pain, especially when they've got spindly legs. I don't like spindly legs. Please don't look at Lasgull Thwacker back there, because he's got spindly legs for the size of orc that he is. This is going to have to be a very customised brick. Oh, Crisis Protocol, that's what it's called. Yeah, right. So it is Crisis Protocol. Now, I'm aware of the game, I've just never played it. With me not particularly having a game group at the moment, and I don't have a friendly local game store either. So, I don't play. I mean, there is one other person, or 2 other people who are around me that I know that collect, but arranging games around families and children and bedtimes and school times and jobs, and sometimes it ain't that easy. Especially when none of you are fully up on the rules because nobody's actually had a chance to play properly. Ooh, what's in the Deathwatch Combat Patrol, Silvers? And hello. Yeah, what's in the Deathwatch Combat? I know obviously you're going to get at least a Watchmaster and probably 2 small kill teams? Or is it an intercessor squad with an upgrade sprue and something else with an upgrade sprue? Because they like doing the upgrade sprues as well, don't they? Oh, you've got Marvel Crisis Protocol. Does it play like HeroClix? If you ever played HeroClix, where you're depending on the character, they either get weaker or stronger as they take damage, and it is like only 4 or 5 heroes per side, and then you get to interact with things like dumpsters and lampposts and cars and stuff if you're capable. So if you've got Hulk on the team, for instance, he gets stronger the more damage he takes, and the stronger he is, the more things he can throw. So he can throw dumpsters, he can throw the lampposts, he can throw the cars at the enemy. He could also smash through walls at the time as well, but I don't know if those type of things are available in Crisis Protocol, because as I said, I've not played it. I've seen some of the minis, and they do look really nice. The only issue I have with painting a Marvel Crisis or anything like that type of model is I've got to stick to a palette. It's already predetermined for me. The colours are already there. There's not much room for creativity apart from painting style. It's about the only, whether I try to do it cartoony, whether I try to do it realistic. So that would be the challenge for that, but I wouldn't be able to do. Yeah, I won't be able to do much. You own HeroClix as well, so excellent. So you know both game systems, and it's more like Kill Team. I've never played Kill Team either, but I'm guessing Kill Team's kind of like Shadow War Armageddon, but not as Necromundery. Because that's pretty much what I got from how Games Workshop ran those 2 games. They released Shadow War Armageddon, then they split it up into 2 games to give Necromunda back properly, which I was thinking was just a tester for anyway, to test the waters, and it worked because you got a crap load of terrain in that as well. It was good. And then they took the fact that you was using 40k armies and 40k factions in smaller skirmish battles and could use it as Kill Team, which is why Shadow War Armageddon is no longer a valid rule system. You've got Kill Team and Necromunda instead. Games Workshop being dirty, greasy people when it comes to business practices and milking everything for what they can. It's almost Disney-esque. There is, what you've got to do is you've got to press the 3 dots complex, and then it'll open up a new menu if you're watching. So yeah, if you don't know how to hit the like button, as complex as we found out, it's not as easy on a phone. If you hit the 3 dots, it opens up a small menu, and that's where you can change the chat to full chat, live chat, and as well as leave the like, and I'm assuming you can subscribe from there as well. And essentially all the standard YouTube type options that you would get just by scrolling down on a PC or something like that, or a monitor. There you go, see, top right. Yeah, top right corner. So I only figured that out tonight as well. Sparkles told me, because she told me to change the chat over, and that's how I'd find you. Easier than what's looking on the green box, because the green box doesn't always show me everything. It's weird. Well, so it does show me everything, but because it's so small, I can't always see everything. So it's not so much weird, it's just I need better eyes. I do need better eyes. So what type of sentinel do you have then? If you don't mind me asking, creature. Have you got the Krieg? Have you got Acadian? What is your meat for the grinder, so to speak? You You play Hydra. Oh, you play the bad guys. Does that mean right? You're gonna get a lot of grunts in Hydra, but what? Obviously, you'll get Red Skull as a main. I'm assuming he's superhuman. Don't forget, he is the equivalent of Captain America. Just looks a bit funky. But who else do you get as supervillains for Hydra? I'm struggling to think. Do you get the Russian guy from the Thunderbolts, for instance? Oh, Krieger, your meat shields, awesome. Kriegsmen are awesome. I would stop banging your head, lads. I would like to do Krieg. I was gifted Cadians, so I have Cadians. Luckily, Combat Patrol is giving me even more Cadians. Isn't that nice of them? Well, they're not giving me, I'm having to pay for them, but still, it's cheaper than buying the actual models, and hopefully it will be just what I need to fill out certain sections and finish them off properly. Because I was talking to the person who I got them from earlier, and he said when he tried to strip some of them down, he used the Deton method in a bag and left them for months. So a few of them didn't survive. So that'll be why I've got a few units when I was looking through initially that I couldn't quite figure out how they went together. So having an extra commander and command squad and things is useful. Right, I've lost an entire brick from somewhere and I'm not sure where. It looks like I've lost it from there. But I don't see how. Right, okay. This is going to be the weirdest wall anyone's ever seen. Hello, Cole. These are tiny little bricks that are going to be built up into ruins that are on top of a part mountain, part bamboo structure with rocks on. I'm going to have D&D characters stood in front of it that are all anthropomorphic. So there isn't a single human character. I think there are potentially two Dragonborns, which will be technically the only real ones from the player's handbook. That are a genuine race that you would normally be able to pick. But they'll all have rules eventually. Once I've finished the actual diorama project, I will rule them up and give them all stat sheets, and then hopefully get a few games with them. Good evening, Graham. No, I'm good. I'm good with a craft knife. I've still got loads of bricks at the minute. I've got more than enough to finish this project anyway, and at least enough to consider starting another. What I'm struggling is putting them on but not moving the project around as I'm doing it. However, a Proxxon would have made cutting these bricks up a whole lot easier. A whole lot easier. That is a good point as well, Creature. I wouldn't mind seeing the is it Mordian first or the Vostroyan firstborn come back. I think those are the kind of Scandinavian-ish, live in the cold weather, those type of ones. They've essentially got them in Old World or is it in AOS. I won't mind seeing them ones come back. I weren't too keen on the clean cut Frenchy style ones. I weren't that happy with them. I don't want them back. Kriegsmen are better. But Kriegsmen also look like the Armageddon Legion, so there is a bit of a crossover there with those, like the gas masks and things. The Armageddon Steel Legion, that's it, as opposed to Krieg and the Death Corps. So there is a little bit of an overlap, so you could run 2 potentially out of those. Catachan Jungle Fighters, you're limited on what you can do with them, really. You're looking at Sentinels, Guardsmen and heavy weapons squads. They're not going to be really using artilleries and static things in the jungle. So you're not really going to get Catachan Jungle Fighters using the new heavy mortars and things. Slightly mobile heavy weapons, yeah, because the 2 men can pick it up, carry it around, lug it around, put it down, shoot, move again, along with the units that they're running around with. Because if the units are shooting, then they're shooting. If the units are moving, then they're moving. Generally in the jungle, because you stick together and you... So there's not really much to expand in that way. But I would like more. I would like a few more of the actual different planets bringing their actual guard regiments, because there's more than just Cadians. And I'm sorry, Cadia might still stand, but Cadia also got blowed up, so you ain't getting no more Cadians anymore because there's no Cadia to make them on. And that might sound heartless to some people, but it's toy soldiers and made up stuff, so you're fine. No Cadia no more, can't have Cadians. It's like, are you still an Earthling if you're not born on Earth? I don't think so. At that current point, you become filthy Xeno. But those are just standard Lehman Russes and these standard tanks. When it comes to hardware, there's not many that individuals. I think the Solar Auxiliary is one of the only few that get a different loadout or a different look to their Lehman Russes. Everyone else just uses a standard Lehman Russ or a standard Rogel Dawn or Baneblade or Shadow Sword variant. So you just paint it accordingly. Whereas a specific and very much company only, so everything to be a Catachan. Steve, good evening. Good evening. I think I've already told you I've sourced where to get the speakers from to do the stage. I just need to finish this project and then I can start working on that. So I'll order them then. And that's when I'll actually have a good strip down on that. There are parts of it that have not survived as well as I thought they had initially, which is not good. But it is still salvageable overall as a concept with quite a lot of the stuff that's still on it. I'm just going to have to reinforce other areas. Silvers was hashed on next stream. You're on Xenos. See, they do. Dirty Xenoses. They're here. Somebody go get me a bolt gun. We need to purge these things before they start taking over. No 4-armed Emperor coming here. Keep your Star Child thing, my Bobby effort. Go get your num num somewhere else. Yeah, essentially. If you're going to do Catachan Jungle Fighters, basically you put your tanks in ghillie suits. That's got to go back on there once I've finished as well. Put all your tanks in ghillie suits. And then you've got Catachan tanks. No, 250,000, 250,000 men plus tanks and auxiliary and artillery. Yeah, nope, that's a bad idea. Just my idea of doing a Space Marine chapter, 1,000 Marines, is a fucking ludicrous enough idea. Is for somebody who lives in a council house. Well, not a council house, but yeah, a small terrace house. To have 1,000, trying to collect 1,000 Marines as well as the other armies that I have, is a ludicrous idea enough as it is. Trying to do a full Guardsman regiment, no, thank you. Fargrim, New Cadia is a planet in the Cadian system, so Cadia stands. But that would make them New Cadians. So then Retcon the Canadians, because they're not quite Cadians. They're nearly Cadians, but they're not quite Cadians. Because obviously Cadia is rubble. Although now that I'm saying it like that, I've got my Imperium forces are starting with quite a lot of tragic backstories. My Stone Bears survived Istvan and got lost in the warp and came out in front of the Indomitus Crusade, which is why they've all been bolstered up now with all the Primaris Marines, rather than just going straight back to Nocturne and just being bolstered by Salamanders. And Macadians are homeless because they've got no planet. They've had to go hijack another one. That wasn't actually supposed to be a planet, but it's got to be now. So yeah, my Imperial ones are not having a good time, are they? My Orcs are having a frigging great time though. They're smashing each other to bits. It's a pain in the ass to get them back together again. I must have a thing for tragic. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, tragic Imperials. Maybe it's something within me that wants to make the humans the good guys in some way. When we know there's only actually one race that is enjoying all of this, and it's the Greenskins, because everyone's having a really good fight. And if they're having a really good fight, the Greenskins is happy. It is that simple for them. Round there's getting all weird on bricks. I don't know why. I think I'm going to have to cut a half a brick or put a half a brick in just to try and stagger it out a bit now. Especially on that section. So all the way around here, I'm just going to need to put a half a brick on at the back. And then I'm going to have to put one on this section as well, just to get it back into organisation. The boys! Yeah, we do. The boys are back in town. We're having crapping good time because we're having our rant. We're all having fun. We're drinking lots of grog. The boys are back in town. See? That's how simple it is for an orc. That's it. Then somebody punches him in the face because they want more grog and need teeth to pay for it, so they knock a couple of yours out. You punch them in the face, knock a couple of theirs out, and everybody's happy. The wives on the way home are going to clean up a bit. No worries, creature. You have a good night, and thank you for coming in. More than welcome to pop back for 40k nights, which is usually Monday. It's called Models and Musings because I still don't know what I'm talking about or half the things what I'm planning on doing. So I can't actually give it a real title until way after I start, and it's too late at that point. I want to go to the Creek Frozen North Army with the Death Riders on polar bears. That would be a good one. But isn't that what the Russian type ones were? Instead of horses, they had polar bears for cavalry. Basically, they had extreme heavy cavalry rather than the standard cavalry. Which the fact that they still use standard cavalry baffles me to a degree, but hey ho, it's Warhammer. Everything's stupid up to a ridiculous degree. So I'm very, 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 very slowly putting this together. So you have multiple Chaos armies, but a couple, maybe a Xenos or an Imperial, just to give them some kind of change. Whereas I am the opposite. I have 2 Imperial armies, and one of which is more than enough to be classified as more than one army, and then a smattering of others. Although I do have more Xenos armies than I thought I would. I thought I was only going to have the Orcs ever as a Xenos army, and it turns out, nope, I've got 3 Xenos armies now. And one of them is the Orcs. Of course, as I said, I thought they were going to be my only one, but now I've ended up with Tyranids and Eldar as well. So, Dirty Knife is the Nom Nom machines, and the most fun army in the game. %, Jesus Christy. You're gonna have fun then, aren't you? How are you staying warm this winter? I'm drinking cider, I am. 18% cider. Just don't put a lighter near it, Jesus Christ, man. That is just silly. And the fact that you can brew that crap at yourself at home is even more ludicrous. It's more ludicrous. So we've almost done all the way around this wall, which I've got to admit, the sides are not as pretty as the front. Saying it now, the sides are not as pretty as the front. And eventually we're going to start going around this side of the wall as well, but I'm going to finish building up. I'm going to build a cross, and then I've got to build fill all that in as well. 4 litres of it too. Got 4 litres of 18% ABV cider. That does sound brutal. You're right, that is bloody Nora. I'm not surprised, he probably kicks you like a mule. What do you mean you can definitely get a kick from it? It's like getting hit in the chest by an electric scooter. It's just daft. Is that not more scrumpy than the cider if it's foggy? I thought if it was foggy it was more scrumpy. Or is that just a different distilling method? Or is scrumpy still a form of cider? It's just a different form of doing it. But yeah, that does sound. I'm glad I don't drink anymore, otherwise I'd be tempted to come and get some. In fact, who was saying tempted? I'd be trying to get a lift over there to go and get some. But I don't drink anymore. I only had 3 cans on New Year's. It's not, well, I suppose to a degree it's not your fault, but how much sugar you put in to cause the reaction, you have some control over that. You have control over the sugar-water ratios, you have some control over how strong it's going to be. Just not a lot. Bricks, 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 bricks. Whose bright idea was it to do this? Whoever it is, they're a friggin' idiot. Yes, I'm aware it is mine. There's no need to point out in the comment section it was yours, Laz. It's your idea to do this. Yes, I know. I know. I mean, you can put it in the comment section, it'll help with the algorithm. You don't have to. Right, so we've kind of got our way around to the top of the door now. So let's get this other side meeting up and then we can start doing the upper layers of it. And hopefully some of it will have dried by then. So we can... I mean, I've still got to Mod Podge this thing. So I can seal it. And then paint it. Oh, so I've got to texture it, Mod Podge it and seal it and paint it. It's never just one quick thing, is it? Never just one quick thing. It's always a series of things. I just... See, now I know why people love 3D printers so much. I could have 3D printed this entire thing and it would have been much easier to do on something like Google SketchUp. But I wouldn't have got the variance, no, the natural variances and slight quirks that I'm getting by doing it manually. So Scrumpy is just a form of cider, fair enough. I've got lots of lollipop sticks as well. That was the original that was the original plan state. It just changed. I just changed my mind and decided that it's easier to do squares on a square than trying to do circles on a square. So I scrapped the lollipop stick idea and decided to put bricks up here instead. So every layer is bloody unique, I know that much. Every layer is unique. Right, let's start filling in some of the gaps around here at the back as well, because it doesn't quite go all the way like that one does, where it can be trimmed down. Or at least look like it's going all the way back from the point of view of looking at it. It needs to look like the wall goes all the way back. No, Fargan. What the dimension is actually at the end of the portal's actually at the end of the pier. There is a dimensional portal. It's just you can't see it. It's at the end of the pier. And that is how the parties will set out on their adventures. They will get their adventures via a message in a bottle that will come through the said portal and wash up on the beach. And then the island members will decide who is going on the mission, if anyone. And not everyone. Not everyone will want to go on the mission. Not everyone might agree that you need to go on the mission. But if they make up a party and they decide to leave, they take the message and bottle with them and go through the portal, and it will take them back to wherever the message came from, so they can render aid or do whatever it is they think they need to do there. Sorry, Steve, you've actually done a similar thing with Lego bricks, then use polyfiller. Yeah, pretty much you get the similar. You get a textured brick. It would still work. Yeah, that'll work fine. I prefer these ones because once you can texture these, and because they're not uniform like Lego bricks or any actual pre-cut bricks. The pre-cut bricks are usually quite uniform, and these all have small little defects, so it's easier I find to make for making ruins. Not too good for building an actual solid wall structure. Not too bad if you want it to look like it's half falling down, but not very good if you want it to look like it could stand for another 20,000 years. I don't actually have... Yeah, because the door's not visible, because the front of the pier is going to be facing outwards, because it is a diorama after all, to hold the models. So the pier is what at the end of the pier, which is there, which is the edge of the actual diorama itself. All the models will be behind it. This is where the portal is. Up here is just a way into more areas for people to be inside, should they need to be inside, to give it that kind of perspective and look. So there is somewhere for them to go. They're not always stuck outside. And that this could be a larger world in and of itself, rather than what you're just seeing here. It does have to fit into one of them IKEA weird box things. So it has been measured to fit into that. I've not got a light above it yet, or I've not planned to put a light above it yet. But I can work that out separately and off screen. That's just for display purposes in home. I could do a nice chunky square one. That one will do nicely, because this is going to be an overlapper. But I don't want it to be too much of an overlapper, so I can get in more overlappers going the other way. There we go. Yeah, there are going to be some gaps and some things, so moss will probably be being put onto this. And very simple method I use to make moss. You get some mixed herbs and you mix it with PVA glue or Mod Podge, and then you get what is essentially moss. You apply it into gaps and things, and it helps cover up nicely. And the extra Mod Podge layer on the outside of this, once it's all glued and dried, will help seal it all in and hold it all together as well. So it's just an extra layer to make sure that nothing can go in anywhere. Graham, if you're still in, how was your gaming night? Because it's Thursday and I always forget you come after games. Is it still Minecraft? Ah, Gloomerest. Also, yeah, I can say, yeah, Buzzard, I wasn't completely paying attention this morning. What's happening? If you're still here and listening, if you missed that, then don't worry. You caught me when I was waking up, and I answered the basic questions because I knew what they were. I think I got the basic gist of the conversation, but I'm not 100% sure what's happening, so I'll go back. I think I need to go back and have a look at the conversation. Well, I think it came through in 2 different forms, so I'm not sure. Oh, this is what I don't like about the brick things. It takes ages. It takes absolutely ages. And Sparkles has given up and just said to go play on a laptop for a bit. So I'm not listening and watching this crap any longer. I might be doing it for her, but I don't expect her to sit there and laboriously torture through every stream that I do for it. She has to sit behind me and listen as it is. She doesn't have to have it on the screen.
Got you on a tab.
I'm on a tab. I'm on a tab.
Pop in it every now and again.
So that's more of a warning. If I spot anything, she's got to be in there like a shot. Well, maybe not like a shot, but she's got to be in there. Because the partner in crime's not in there watching already. She's gone to bed. I'm glad them two don't talk about bloody glamping anymore and all that much. Jesus Christ. Do you want to know something? Ali almost had us sold on glamping. In a different country, but glamping. But the only way you're going to get me to go glamping is if I can guarantee I will see the Northern Lights. If you can guarantee that, you've got half a chance of getting me going. Just half. Then you're going to have to pick the actual right place. Because if I'm not going camping, I better be in bloody comfort. None of this sleep on the floor with a posh teepee over my head. We didn't want any of that, please. Although hopefully next year we will get to go see Northern Lights, providing nothing too catastrophic goes on the world stage. I believe Greenland is an absolutely beautiful country to go to. Mainly because it's not got a McDonald's in every fucking corner. And a Starbucks on either side. So no light pollution. See Northern Lights. See nice stars. I mean, it's going to be bloody cold. It's going to be really cold. But you know that when you're going. And if you don't, then you're a bloody idiot. It's Greenland. It's full of ice. I don't know, you're thinking, no, it's Iceland. No, it's bloody not. Greenland's full of ice, Iceland's nice and green. Europeans have a sense of irony. And a sense of humour. Bloody had them for centuries. Right. I suppose you could always go to Canada as well and see the Northern Lights. It might actually be easier. Shooby-doo-boop-doo-boo-doo-doo. Yeah, that was right. Now let's get another one on, and then we've got one more layer, and then we're going round in big circles. Well, half circles, seed shapes. And they're not even that, are they? More rectangles. Never mind, I'm waffling complete rubbish. Wasn't it? 90% of your stream was. Yeah, I know. few more bits to put on. I'm going to go nice and slim on this next piece. Complex, have you used my post video on my channel? I mean on my Discord channel. An actual video. Or is it just a link to a video? Because I can't get to upload videos onto my bloody channel. It keeps saying video files too large. I don't have Nitrous boosted. I think there's about 40 members in there, so it usually doesn't warrant a Nitrous boost at that point. But it does have additional benefits having Nitrous boosts, such as larger file uploads and things like that. But the character sheets should be fine. Let's face it, for this project that's the main thing, is the character sheets and the photographs. Evelyn, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm dropping bricks, We've got a little bit further along since you left us earlier. Got all the way up to here now. With all the bricks. It won't. Not a chance, Fargrim. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's a big distraction for other stuff that he's doing. That we're not being told and we're not being drawn to our attention. Distract. Look over here. This time's doing something else. It's politics, because if we know about it, it's not the thing they want us to. It's not the thing we should be worried about. But this is also not really the channel where we can fix and solve any of those problems. So fuck it. Let's just lay some more bricks, shall we? And hopefully that'll be enough. And just another handful scattered across it. If I can see, just another handful. And now it's to do. I've really got to get used to using this camera. So up here. So I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to work out from the keystone. So I'm going to split this one in half, put it either side of the keystone, and then work out from there. And I'm going to use that point for these layers going up. Hopefully it works. Got a small suspicion it might not, but we never know until we try. And I'm also going to give it a nice dollop of glue all the way across, just to help set this in and some of the others that are below it, so it can kind of dribble down behind and hopefully set them in afterwards. I'd also be extremely lazy and not have to glue each one in every time. Hopefully this is going to work though. So it's one there, one there. Find the right side to make it the right thickness. And then one there, one there. Doing this might have made it a lot quicker in the first place, you know. Well, live and learn, and apparently not in my case, because this is certainly not the first time I've done this. And I still didn't learn from last time that you could. I remember now that I'm doing it, this was a quicker method. This was a much quicker method. I actually remember. Yes, it hurt. And I need a half brick for that, because it's gone out askew. And then one brick there. Excellent. And now we go back around the other side and repeat, and try not to knock any bricks loose if we can. And this is an overlap this way, isn't it? Right, now I'm hoping it's just one more layer around, and then it's just going to be one nice big top layer. Ooh. The problem is though, Fargrim, is I live in somewhere that is ridiculous for light pollution. It is stupid. It is stupid for light pollution. On a completely clear night, if it's in the sky, I can just about see the plough. Occasionally I can see some of Orion. Mostly it's just his belt. And, well, they call it his sword and dagger, but we all know what it really is. Don't we? Yeah, we do. It's his tallywhacker. Orion was a grand old built gentleman, apparently, because he got up there in the stars. I'm sorry, if someone's going to depict you in the stars and have something like that, it's not to display a dagger. I need another half brick. So yeah, that's pretty much all I get a chance to see in the night sky. I don't get a lot more than that because of, well, Manchester. Manchester's crap for it. Because the only nights when you actually do get the possibility to see it, it's cloudy and raining anyway. So you never actually get a chance to see it. It sucks. Particularly crap. Especially as Sparkles is really into science and spacey stuff, so it has been rather disappointing each time not being able to go out and see it. Because it's been a couple of times now recently, as you said, it's because it's moving further south. Thank you very much. It is slowly getting there. They usually do. Just takes the patience and the work on it. But yeah, back to, as I said, Sparkles does like her spacey stuff. So it would be nice to actually be able to see it. It's just where we live, we have not got a snowball in hell's chance. Even though it does technically come down far enough for us to. Come on, last couple of bricks. Last couple of bricks for this layer. This is a very finicky, delicate one because it's right at the edge. Got very little to actually grip onto. Okay, so that's all the walls going up. Hello, Erin. Hello. Yes, I am. Well, it's still the diorama, the one that I've been building for the last year. And it's genuinely how long it's taken me this to do. It's taken me a year to do. Do a cheat for the top. I suppose it really. I need to ask Sparkles. Am I allowed to cheat for the top?
What?
I want to use one of the foam tiles that I've not painted yet, and just cut it to size. I can cheat for the top.
Yes.
Excellent. Right. By cheating for the top means I get to just cut one of these out to the right size. So oh, here I didn't know that's 1, 3. So I need to cut an inch. It needs to be a 1 inch by 3 inch. My phone's on the 1, 2, bloody 3 blocks, isn't it? Ah. Right. I'm gonna have to move my phone from the 1, 2, 3 blocks because I need one of the edges of a 1, 2, 3 block to cut out the right shape-ish to go on top of there, and then I can put one more layer of bricks up, and then it should be done. I don't want to use that one. That was more streety. I want to use that one. I want to cut a chunk out about there. I think. Yeah. So, because I've got the full diorama on my desk, I don't have much room on my desk to be doing this. So, put that on my desk there. And then get the knife. Don't go for a single pass on it. Go to score it. I hope I did that right. And that should now go on. The top there, which if I forgot the camera's attached to the bloody light, isn't it? Right, I'll move the light away and bring the camera in more. It gives that stony effect on top. Whew. Oh, you're north of the wall? Do you mean the 4-foot wall that for some reason stops people coming in? It's supposed to stop people coming in for the country, that one? The one that doesn't work. Because we just go and build train tracks and stuff past it. That wall's bloody useless. Hadrian can have it back. Right, so glue that into place on there, and then another layer of bricks going round on top, and I think that will do it. Just to shore up that edge and stop it looking quite as stark and so obvious that it's an extra laid out piece. Let's try and get it to work. Final run. Final run. Once we've done this, next week it's at least Mod Podging, because it should all be dry then, and staining the bar. And I don't mean with alcohol, I mean with like Agrax Earthshade and things like that, just to tint the wood. If there is anyone looking for me to build a wall and do this as a actual job, you're crazy. Have you seen this thing? This is not structurally sound. Don't breathe like that. That's how you end up with bricks everywhere, you absolute idiot. These are so light because of foam. These are ridiculously light. I need a slim one. I'll just get another one. Just get another one. You got bloody hundreds. Just make sure it's got glue on it and make sure it's going to where you need it to be. Well, that's a pre-textured one. That's lucky. This is why tweezers come in handy sometimes. Now I will have to trim this down as well for those that protrude a little bit too far. That's not too big of a deal, especially once it's dried and sealed. I can't seal it until the PVA is dried. But there we go. We now have one upper floor layer. So shall we go for a little tour around? So now we have let's move the foam bricks out of the way for a second. We have the sea level, because we only have 3 that live at the sea level, which is Grist, Storm and Storm's little cyclone mate called Cyclone. And then we have obviously where Sparkles and Oak stand, which is these 2 areas. We have the blacksmithy area with his little fiery friend, as well as the area with like Ali the bunny, the barbarian butterfly, the Cthulhu bartender who still hasn't got a name, and his bouncer guards, as well as the way of the open hand panda, who's also the merchant. Then on this level we have even I think it's about 8 other characters, and then this level we have now got it ready for the 6 characters that are going to be going up there. But that is our ruined wall, or our ruins section, which not too bad. And then it caps out there with the more cobblestones. So I could put another character or 2 up there if I wished. But we also have obviously the bar, which, as I said, needs staining. Mirage will be the name of the bar. And then the upper layers where the bat, the penguin, and Nathan, the sharpshooting crow guy. Let's put this back in the place where it holds properly for painting. And there we go, that shows that a bit better. If I can actually get it. There we go. So that needs texturing and painting still, which is going to take quite a long time. But I've still got to wait for all that to dry. This is... That happened a lot quicker than I was expecting. Oh, I forgot to glue the... I forgot to do a bit of gluing. I forgot to glue the tuft of grass back on. And I've got to put all the little foam bricks away that I've not used, so they don't end up scattered all around the bloody house. Now, foam brick placing does take a lot of concentration. Texturing it by a ball of tinfoil is also going to take a lot of concentration, because I don't want to wreck it and smash bits off and break things, so I'm going to have to be really careful. So I think I should Mod Podge it first. Yeah, it's definitely a better idea. I'll Mod Podge it first and we'll go for, and then I'll be able to take it from there. Awesome. Right, can I get this foam block out from behind the pier? Yes, if I stab it with a knife. And now I've just got all the ones that have fallen into the character holes on the ground floor. I've got a lot of touching up to do. I've just realised that I've got a lot of touching up to do. More ground to cover and paint on the ground floor, because I've realised places down here at the bottom are not quite right. I've got to do behind the bar, and I suppose I could, seeing as I'm waiting for drying time, I could stain the bar as well. So if I was to, in this case, the bar, which is there, I need to stain all the wood. So I could, I suppose, get the brush out, get the Agrax Earthshade, and give it a going over. Because if I'm waiting for stuff to dry, I might as well wait for a lot to bloody dry out of it. Where's my Agrax Earthshade? Don't even try telling me I've not got an Agrax Earthshade, because I know you're lying. Agrax Earthshade, there we go. So, let's stain it with Agrax Earthshade. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Wet the brush. And as it is only using a wash, I don't have to use one of my new fancy brushes that Complex got me. Just a standard brush will do. I essentially use this like wood stain. We'll get it on all the areas where there's tape and everything. Get it all across the tops. And slather it all over the place. That way when we paint over paint the actual sign on nice and bright, it should stand out. And this bar should at least look like it's been used to some degree, and it's not a fresh piece of sculpted furniture. And to add some look of wear to it, because they've been here a while. It's not like they've only just moved on, they've had enough chance to dig out through the mountain, climb up to the ruins, find out what's in the ruins, and build a bar, ferment enough vegetables and stuff in the meantime and fruits to be able to make drinks, alcoholic ones at that, because some of these are adults and do want beer. Some of these are not necessarily fully grown, but they are of age, just as humans are allowed to drink alcohol before they are fully grown in a lot of countries. So the fact that the twins might be 48, that's in turtle terms and tortoisey terms. They're still kids. Things like that. Right, a little bit of glue, tuft of grass to go back on. No, back onto there, no, fine. A little bit of glue, tuft of grass to go back on. There we go. So we've stained the bar, that's drying. We've done all the building blocks now, they're drying. And that was a quick one for this evening, but I got a lot done actually. I've pretty much finished the final layer regarding physical, what it's going to physically look like, and now I just need to lock it in and paint it, which, as I said, will be next week. And I've also washed the bar as well, which I've been putting off for weeks and weeks and weeks, but I've actually done it this time, and now that's kind of ready to go as well. It's moving along quicker than I thought. So what, 1-2 weeks to paint characters, and another 2 or 3 weeks on the actual diorama itself, and that will be it will be the end. Well, the end of the building and the painting part of it anyway. There's a lot more work for me to do afterwards. So for tonight, that is everything. Thank you very much for everybody who's come to see me, spent time, chatted to me, sent me off my little derails sometimes, which is always fun. If you've enjoyed any of this, please do the YouTube stuff, hit the like button, the subscribe button. If you want to join the Discord as well, it is linked down there and the link in the description below. I've enjoyed tonight. I hope all of you have as well.